Hey.
Welcome to another episode of Happy Wax TV and the Doom Garden Report.
Yes, Predator Edition.
Predator Edition. Happy Wax.
Axmaster. Oh, yep.
And here we are.
The Predator.
Looking around.
Yep.
Don't see nothing crawling on the ceiling.
Yet, anyways.
Predator.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Predator.
Yeah. Well, it's, I mean, everybody knows it's directed by Shane Black.
Yes.
And just a quick, Boyd Holbrook, he's the main star. And then, I mean, there's a list of, Keegan-Michael Key. You might recognize him because his buddy there wrote, what was the movie he wrote? That just, what was it called? Get Out?
Oh, was that him?
Yeah, that was his buddy. They were kind of like a comedy team. And then Olivia Munn's in it, and Thomas Jane, and, a bunch of other people. But
Thomas Jane with Tourette's.
Tourette'sy Thomas Jane. Fuck! Yep, so...
Eat your pussy!
Oh, man. God. All right. Well, do you want to start with this? Hey.
Okay. I like the original Predator. I like, what was the one where they took him to the game reserve?
Predators, yep, by Robert Rodriguez.
I didn't mind that one.
Yep.
So, it was entertaining to go see, but I didn't get my hopes really high up for it. It was, it was okay. Like, it was cool to see the giant predator, the alpha predator or whatever it was.
Yep.
Concept that this in the movie, is it is it a secret or
no? We can do spoilers. This will be a spoiler review because there's lots of reviews up for this movie and everybody's talking about it.
Yeah, because you got to kind of talk about it, right?
Yeah. Plus, it's killing it at the box office, so I'm pretty sure anybody watching this is
seen it.
So, this is a spoiler review. So if you don't want to hear it, just go like this.
Okay, so I like the concept of this rogue predator, which is normal sized predator coming to try to help people.
Yep.
That was kind of cool. That was different.
Yep.
So this guy was actually a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Mondo, super tall predator guy coming down to hunt him, sort of thing.
Yep.
But the weird thing was like regular predator went through all these guys, and kicked ass like normal, and then big predator comes along and he's getting his ass kicked by these guys eventually. It just I don't know. It was okay, and the kid in it. The kid theory that this little kid can talk to predators and stuff. I don't know. It was entertaining enough for a predator.
Was he a savant? Movie. I think the kid was a bit of a savant,
like
right?
He had Asperger's or something.
But but there's
autism or something.
There's so much that doesn't make sense in this movie. Like you said, like how the super predator can come and literally destroy the normal predator like that. And we find out early on that bullets don't affect this thing. They do nothing to it. Yet they continually shoot at it. I don't get it. You know what I mean? And then this isn't. I don't know. This to me isn't a Predator movie. This is a fucking comedy. None of these military guys seemed to even care that they were going up against the Predator. They were never scared.
We're the good guys.
Oh, that's cute.
I like her.
See, that's the thing that I liked in the first Predator, and this thing I liked about in the second Predator. And even Robert Rodriguez Predators. Yeah, there was one-liners, right? But these guys were generally afraid of this fucking thing that they were fighting. These guys were cracking jokes, and it's like they almost didn't give a fuck. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like I'll use the one example. What was the Indian fellow's name in the original Predator?
Billy.
When he's standing there on the log. And you could see the
Billy was shitting his pants.
Jesse Ventura. Well, maybe not because he was never really in action with it. But
he didn't have time to bleed.
Yeah, he doesn't have time to bleed. Yeah,
he doesn't have time to bleed.
But Shane Black's character, everybody was afraid of this thing. You know what I mean? And in the second one, Danny Glover, Bill Pullman, not Bill Pullman. Sorry,
Paxton.
Bill Paxton. Sorry, they all fought this thing, but you could tell that they were afraid of it. Robert Rodriguez's movie. Everybody was afraid of this fucking thing. The Russian guy was shitting his pants when he was fighting it. Nobody's afraid of these things in this movie, and it's a fucking joke. They turned it in what they did, okay, and I get it because Shane Black is he's a good director for the Avengers movie because he did Iron Man 3 and that's what this movie is. They've turned it into a fucking superhero movie almost, and it's a joke because that works in their universe where they're cracking one-liners and it's all funny, haha, and the Guardians of the Galaxy is fucking awesome, but that's what they built that around. But this movie, like, they should have made it more serious because it's rated R, right? Because there's lots of blood and guts.
There is lots of blood and guts.
Why would you turn it into a comedy? And the overacting was fucking ridiculous. Like Thomas Jane, like I like him as an actor, but he was horrible in this with that Tourette's bullshit. Like, what was even the point of that? It was stupid. I know you want to give them character, but I mean, he was cracking jokes and it wasn't funny. And I know what scene you're going to talk about. Like, it was just, there was a lot of stupid in this movie. Like, I had high hopes for this movie.
The death scene with Thomas Jane and his buddy there.
But
I mean, that was just ridiculous. Like, you know, the Predator throws Thomas Jane onto a tree and he gets impaled by the thing coming right at his heart.
Yeah.
And he's hanging on the tree. Buddy gets eviscerated and thrown on the ground. So they look at each other and they do the old poignant.
Oh, God. Yep.
They shoot each other. I mean, come on, what the? It was just stupid.
Yeah,
I mean,
and then it's your typical.
There was a lot of stupid in this movie.
Yeah, and then it's your typical, type movie where the hero, no matter how badly, like you said, the predators walk through everybody, destroy them, turn them into fucking hamburger, which is awesome. Those scenes are great. Yet.
But this one guy from the U.S. Army Ranger Corps is going to basically take on two predators.
Yeah. It's
kick some serious ass.
Like, is this the Predator versus Superman?
Ruha!
Yeah. Like,
Semper Fi!
Holy fuck. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, and then the dogs. I thought, okay, this is cool. Look at these gigantic, massive, size of a fucking Volkswagen dogs. And they don't even scare these guys. They just, the one guy just walks up beside him with the fucking, I don't know what it is, the same thing it looked like Buddy used in No Country for Old Men. And lobotomizes the fucking dog. So now it's chasing the balls around. Like, what the fuck? It was like so stupid. And I, like, anyways, it's too bad because the idea was awesome. Like you said, this lone rogue predator comes down to try and save humanity because the predator world is dying, right? And they're coming to this planet eventually because of global warming. So they want the people fucking gone, right? But this guy comes down and he's trying to save them. And then it's almost like a fucking like a cop movie almost, when they send in the super predators to come and get rid of this guy. And then, they want his whatever device he was going to give them, which we were going to give at the end.
And you got like the men. Let's not forget the Men in Black, right? The people that run the whole institute that knows all about them.
Yep. So, like, I don't know. You know what they need to do? You know what the Predator series needs to do? Is put it back in the hands of John McTiernan. Like, what has he fucking done lately? Nothing. Call him up. Say, listen, here's we'll give you a shit ton of money so you can go out and make another fucking kick-ass Predator movie like you did in the beginning. Because I'm telling you, like, this is the worst Predator. Other than, and I think I'm the only person that likes Alien versus Predator. I liked the first movie, but the second one was absolutely terrible. And this movie, to me, is even worse than the fucking Alien versus Predator Requiem or whatever the fuck it was called. So I don't know. This is like the worst one of the bunch for me, and it's a shame because I was waiting. And then it's funny because you watch other reviews and people are raving about how good this movie is. And I'm like, what the fuck are you watching? But it's funny, though, because a lot of people that are liking this movie are younger people, right?
Yeah, and that's like we said last night, everybody that came out, Professor Stephen Gray was with us, and he said the same thing. It was filmed like a comic book movie. Like, the shit where they're hanging on to the outside of the ship.
Oh, fuck.
And I mean, it's like the guy's hanging out of a spaceship by one leg, and he's
There's
dropping
nothing.
down 100 feet, and he's not getting hurt. Like, that's why they liked it, because it's this eye candy fucking horse shit. And
I get it. This is the younger generation, and that's what they and that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just a crusty old fart who likes the old school, and that's what I gauge my Predator movies on, is the first one for sure, and the second one. And I think Robert Rodriguez is his one. He pulled it off. You know what I mean? Some people didn't like it, but I mean, it was kind of old schoolish. It had a great idea, and I loved it. And the badasses in that movie were just like the first one, where they exactly that, badasses. And yes, there was one-liners, but you could tell when they were fighting these things that they were afraid for their lives, right? Not in this movie. These guys don't give a fuck. They're joking and horsing around, and it's like the fucking kid, okay? This 10-year-old kid kills somebody in this movie, and he doesn't even fucking care. Are you kidding me? Like, as soon as I saw that happen, I thought, because he puts the helmet on, and the helmet has like a mind of its own, and he goes trick-or-treating, and Buddy throws something at him, you know, calls him a punk or whatever, and the cannon comes out, turns around, and blows the fucking house apart. The kid doesn't even fucking care. You know what I mean? Like, he just killed somebody, and it's like, oh, well, whatever. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
that's the kind of movie this is. It's just, you know, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And what's that? Sorry, yeah, okay. You better cut me off because I'm gonna fucking rip this movie for the next 3 hours. I'm gonna give it a 5 for like a pass, just because the Predators in this looked fucking cool. You know what I mean? It had a really good idea, but just the presentation was fucking terrible. Like, this is not, Predator is not a comedy, and especially when you take the risk of making it a rated R movie. Why would you turn it into a fucking comedy? I don't get it.
Yeah, I'll go 4.5, 5 on that.
Yeah. God damn it, Shane Black. Especially Shane Black, who was in the first one. Like, what are you thinking, dude? Like, come on. Oh. Okay, anyways. In the ending.
Sometimes I think they just need to, you know, put a good thing to rest and come up with a different film that we haven't seen.
But you know what's sad?
Different alien. You know.
I'm just gonna, okay, so I'll post this, and I'm gonna do my movie news on Monday morning, like I normally do. And I'm gonna go down the weekend box office, and I can tell you right now that if this movie isn't first, it's gonna be second behind The Nun, and it's gonna make a shit ton of cash, and I can guarantee we'll get another one. Guarantee, just like The Nun. Pile of shit, but it made a ton of money, and they're gonna try and cash in on it again. That's my prediction. But, you know, that's what I'm thinking.
That's why big Hollywood movies are sucking worse and worse. Yeah. And people who want story and actual value and content are going to places like the Highland, or we're watching them on Netflix or online, because better stories and better movies seem to be going that way.
Yep.
And big eye candy productions with lots of explosions and ships and ridiculous action sequences that are completely unrealistic, you know, are making it. So that's what
you
they're doing.
go through all
that's
that
what's
effort
coming out of Hollywood, man.
Yeah, I mean, they referenced almost every single Predator movie in this movie. They referenced the first one because they talked about Dutch. Jake Busey is Gary Busey's son, like plays in the second one. They referenced him because he's the doctor in this one. And there's even a scene where Olivia Munns, or whatever her name is, walks over to a couple glass, and there's the actual alien head with the spine on it. Like, so they reference all these movies. Great fucking idea. Rated R, and they turned it into a fucking comedy. What are you thinking? John McTiernan, if you happen to see this video, I don't know if you will, just come back and do another one. Like, please, just save this franchise, because it's seriously going the way of Hellraiser. It really is. So, and we don't want that.
We don't want that.
Oh, anyways, okay, we gotta wrap this up because I'm talking
right then.
Anyways, okay, so thanks for tuning in. Yeah, old subs, new subs, you guys are awesome. And yeah, if you go see this movie, I can guarantee that you will not be scared at all, ever. It's a fucking comedy.
We're not laughing.